Hello, this is the TradeSite Forex Market Preview and International Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Sunday the 5th of January and ending Friday the 10th of January 2020. Welcome to the new year. Here's a look at the dollar index daily chart. We've been stuck for a long time. I'll do some year-end recaps here soon and talk about what the markets did over the course of the year. But in terms of the dollar index, we've been in a 3.5 point range now for basically the whole year. A little lower, very back in January, but other than that, that's about it. That's one of the lightest, narrowest ranges for the dollar index we've ever seen. Euro dollar is the inverse of the dollar index, so it's stuck here in it's called a 500 pip range for the year. The pound dollar, a little more volatility, of course, 1,400 pips. That's why we trade the pound more than we trade anything. No signals, no patterns right now to focus on. Aussie dollar, nothing there. Euro yen, 13 sell signal the other day, rolled perfectly from that. Pound yen, 13 sell signal at the top, perfectly rolled off of that. Pound Swiss, no signals at all for a long time because it was so flat. New Zealand dollar, sorry, didn't do much there. All right, let's take a look at the intra-week action, 30-minute candles. So we've got the euro dollar high to low for the week is about 160 pips. And not surprisingly, well, no, you got to back that out. Hold on. This is the week because we had the holiday. We had the New Year's Day holiday. So it's still 110 pips. We were closed on Wednesday, which is always an awkward. Forex is rarely closed, and then 2 Wednesdays in a row were closed. So it's kind of an awkward look there. Here's look at the pound. If you just look at the week, high to low for the week, here's about 220 pips. Made some decent money to start the year in Forex. It's better than we've been seeing. So we will take it and be happy with it. All right, in terms of economic data coming out in the week ahead, let's go through it. Not much on Sunday. AIG Manufacturing Index out of Australia. Japan's Final Manufacturing PMI. Cax and Services PMI out of China. German retail sales. There's a bank holiday in Italy. Spanish and Italian and French. All the services PMI numbers. Broad European one, then the UK one. PPI out of Europe. RMPI and IPPI out of Canada. Final Services PMI out of the US. Monetary base out of Japan. 10-year bond auction out of Japan. Going to Tuesday, CPI out of Switzerland. Housing equity withdrawal out of the UK. CPI flash estimate out of Europe and Italian preliminary CPI and retail sales out of Europe. UK has their 10-year bond auction. We've got trade balance here out of US and Canada. That's one of our big three each month. We'll be half size ahead of that on Tuesday. Of course, the big action, the big news is what's going on over in Iran. That may have an impact on some of the currencies plus the Brexit stuff. So we'll see. GDT price. I expect 2020, by the way, to be much more interesting for Forex than 2019 was. So it should be an interesting year there. IV PMI out of Canada. ISM non-manufacturing PMI out of the U.S. Factory orders out of the U.S. AIG construction index out of Australia. Japan's average cash earnings. Building approvals out of Australia. Consumer confidence out of Japan. German factory orders. French trade balance. Halifax HPI out of the UK. German 10-year bond auction. ADP non-farm employment change here in the U.S., crude oil inventories in the U.S., 10-year bond auction in the U.S., consumer credit in the U.S., ANZ commodity prices out of New Zealand, retail sales out of the U.K., trade balance out of Australia, CPI and PPI out of China, 10-year bond auction out of Japan, German industrial production and trade balance, retail sales out of Switzerland, foreign currency reserves out of Switzerland, Italian monthly unemployment rate, European unemployment rate, French 10-year bond auction, housing starts out of Canada, building permits out of Canada, the weekly initial and continuing jobless claims numbers here in the U.S., natty gas on Thursday, back to its normal time finally, 30-year bond auction out of the U.S., AIG services index out of Australia, household spending out of Japan, retail sales out of Australia, Japan's leading indicators going into Friday, unemployment rate out of Switzerland, French and Italian industrial production, new loans out of China, and money supply out of China. Unemployment rate out of Canada and the U.S., another one of our big three, so we'll be half size ahead of Friday as well. And then final wholesale inventories here in the U.S. Welcome to 2020. Hope for a good year. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple of weeks. Have a great trading week.